Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Altcoin Bosses, but we're going to be adding in a few Metaverse coins through popular demand. People have been firing questions at me. Tino, can you look at this coin? Can you look at that coin? So here we are today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dive into some Metaverse coins during this video, and we're going to label off the altcoins that have been moving today and just a little bit of a snapshot of what's been going on across the board. Now, if you are new to the channel, at the end of the video, be sure to like and subscribe. It rolls out with the YouTube algorithm. You know the game, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, welcome to a Trader's Reality Show. My name is Tino. Let's have a conversation, guys. So what's going on? Well, this is the actual list of Metaverse coins, which I'm going to talk about in a short moment. But we need to understand what's going on across the board, okay? As you can see, the best winner today by far is Gala. Gala's moving mad movements, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this could be due to the listing on Binance, if I'm correct. But you can see that the movement itself is no different to a couple of coins that we saw moving in the Altcoin Bosses playlist earlier on this week. Okay, no, sorry, last week. All right, for me, ladies and gentlemen, I need to see a coin that's going to be basing out and showing support. And the way that I can determine a coin's liquidity or if it's got interest is simply by the way the candlesticks are performing. Okay, you can see nice strong closes on some of the candles, not many wicks. You know, all candles do show wicks, okay, and that is where they are actually hitting certain zones and pools of liquidity that they want to try and grab so that they can set up their shorts to the opposite direction, aka Mr. Market Maker. All right, so what I look for is I go through the charts and I try and determine which is moving, and the way that I establish that is where it's coming from. Okay, now you can see Gala is actually trying to break above this previous zone right here, which it nearly succeeded in doing so. Hit the high of 0.11. I mean, we could get to the 12-cent mark, but this coin itself, it won't be reaching all-time highs just yet, considering that this coin itself is pretty new and it's basing out. Okay, so we haven't got that much history on these coins. Okay, and that's the same with the Metaverse coins. Some coins are just have been recently listed. Okay, so you just want to be mindful of that in mind, because if you're paying attention, or should I say, if you're trying to trade a coin that has got not that much history in it, okay, then 90% of it is all down to the public demand of it. All right, and you want to be careful of that. You want to see them holding certain zones, like for example down here. Okay, big little drop off down here, and then they reverse price back up again. So they're containing it in the zone. I'm expecting them to try and come back up to this point in this chart, given that some news that's come out about Gala, if I'm correct, will push price higher so they can fill these imbalances in the chart. Okay, Win. Now, Win's been going on for quite some time now. Okay, and you can see it's been going, wow, all the way back from September last year. And you can see that they have got all this ground to recover. Okay, and this move to the upside, and you can see bright as day on the daily chart, you've got a big W formation. So this is a coin that you might want to pay attention to. All right, pay attention, because all of this area right here is where the market maker previously opened his shorts, and he started going long on the way back down by attacking all of the guys who went long in this coin and pulling it all back out again. Okay, remember, this is all coins out there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, whether they're rock pools, whatever, market makers supply the liquidity. Okay, it's all based off the supply that the market maker is presenting to the board, or wherever. When I say the board, which exchange is offering this coin to be traded on. Okay, now Win itself does trade quite a bit on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so this move to the upside, is it because Bitcoin's pulling back? Are we seeing the dominance of Bitcoin dropping? We'll have a look at that in a very few moments. All right, RNDR, look at this monster. Problem is, I can smell shorts. Yeah, and I ain't talking about Steve shorts either. Coins currently at all-time highs. We understand something with the blue vector candles. See, we've been blessed with 1, 2, 3 hits to the high and a continuation of 1, 2, 3 vector candles to the upside. Now, we understand the blue vector candles imply that volume is starting to rise. But does it also mean that it's starting to slow down? Okay, so there's a lot of hype right now with RNDR. They're just making moves to the upside. Be mindful. All of these moves that are happening right now, when Bitcoin decides to take its precedence and move back up, these are the coins that are going to be pulling back first. All right? You will notice this across the board, guys. Whenever Bitcoin or the dominance of Bitcoin is pulling back, these altcoins or several altcoins are going to be moving out of zones, which is why it pays for you to, at the start of your trading session, to just be mindful of altcoins that are showing basing or coins that are looking like they're coming to pull back, retrace, continuation. This is the basis of the hybrid system, ladies and gentlemen, this pattern right here. Okay, so right now, this coin is showing us the following. We've got to move away from the zone. Okay, deviation away from the moving averages. There's no normality in this move right now. Okay, it's just moving higher and higher, and the poor guys that are stepping in whilst this coin is making all-time highs are going to pay the price, because when this coin pulls back, it will pull back aggressively. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to pull back in the next few sessions. Who knows? This coin could keep going up all the way up to $10 maybe. Okay, that's where the issue of uncertainty rolls out. You're never going to know what it's going to do, but ultimately you need to understand that moves in any direction develop. So market maker right now, he's developing the moves to the downside by moving price higher. Once he traps enough liquidity in this zone right here, he's going to be able to pull it back very sharply. And we expect that with all sorts of altcoins. Altcoins that don't trade much in volume, okay, are subject to these sharp movements to the downside. So just be mindful of that, ladies and gentlemen, okay? SXP. Beautiful. Now we understand something, guys. Like, I mean, come on. What is there left to say about this coin right here? We've got ourselves a beautiful pattern right here. Wonderful. Full criteria of the W formation. Look at the psychology of the move. Market makers push price down low and recover the previous pools of liquidity right here. Okay? They bring price down even further, but they stay within this previous peak right here. When they reverse back to the 50 EMA, they take out all the shorts that came short in this area right here. They build their longs at the same time and realize a return for them. They give the shorts another opportunity to drop price down lower. So the market maker does push price down lower, and he commits them with this big spike to the downside and then reverses back up and then tries to shift it out of the zone with this coin. Sorry, with this candlestick. Whenever you see this candlestick appearing below a moving average and it's coming from a base, it's a shift candle. And the reason it's a shift candle is because the market maker in this zone right here has contained enough liquidity, which he's able to then reverse price and move away from that zone, because he's going to be tapping the liquidation points for the coins, for the traders that have been going short in this coin based on this trap that they set right here. Okay, now fundamentally this as a W formation is flawed. Why? Because the second leg is beyond the first leg. However, price does come straight back into it. Okay, before this candle closed, it came straight back into the range, so it's still valid as a W formation. Now they did the same thing again here. Look at that. Now this is on the daily time frame, guys. You would have seen some nice movements with this coin to the upside if you had entered at this point right here. Now, this would have been a bit of a risky trade. Why? Because quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, on the daily, if you were looking at it from the 1 hour time frame, you would have seen the bottom out right here, the retrace, and then the continuation to the upside. If I dive into the actual move itself, you'll see bright as day. There we are. Look. What's happening here? This is on the 1 hour time frame. So they come away from the zone. Look, patterns within patterns and cycles within cycles. W formation, rise level 1, rise up level 2, rise level 3, peak formation, drop, reset the pattern. Rise up level 1, consolidates, forms another pattern, rise up level 2, drops, resets the pattern, another W formation, rise up level 1, rise up level 2, wait for the retrace, continuation to the upside. But then when you look at the actual pattern itself, you can see that we have actually got a move away from the zone. So naturally on the higher time frame, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback back down into the moving averages, and then price should continue its journey back up. Why? Because we've got this bad boy of vectors right here. Look at this liquidity zone right here. Once they step above these zones in the chart right here, guys, where the previous wicks are, as you can see at that point right there, which is $3.07. And then we've got this zone right here at $2.99. Once they free that liquidity right there and break through that point, they will be releasing the money up here. Now, before they actually get to that situation, they may actually pull price up higher, retrace back down, and then make the continuation up. But that's on the premise that they are actually going to continue with price movement to the upside. Okay? Remember, whenever price closes above a 50 EMA, yet the moving averages are still below price, you need to wait for confirmation that the momentum's going to step into the coin. How do you do that? Well, you wait for the 5 and the 13 EMA to finalize above the 50 EMA on the daily time frame. As you can see, the 5 and the 13 EMA are trying to cross over the 50 completely. All right? So what you want is you want the next candle or the next day session to continue higher, which is likely to continue higher because they're going to be filling this wick on the next candle. And on the basis that they actually do set the same trend moving forward from tomorrow, we should then see price moving higher, and then the 5 and the 13 EMA would be completely above the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, as you can see right here. All right. You see, what happened here is, look at this trap. Traders probably saw the death cross for the 50 EMA crossing over the 200 EMA to the downside. Everyone decides to go short. Well, they went short, but they also paid the price because they kept hold of their trade, because they simply thought that the next trade itself at the 200 EMA is going to be resistant. So the market maker did give them that benefit. They gave them that benefit of the doubt by dropping price again one more time. Okay, so he committed those guys who believed that the 200 EMA was going to act as resistance. So that's why you see a lot of volume activity in this area, because market maker is setting the trap. But we would have been expecting a pattern: rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. We wouldn't have gone short in that instance. Now, if you are proficient in the hybrid system itself, there's nothing stopping you from actually taking those trades. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, always trade away from the formation. Trade away from the peak formation. All right, you want to start trading into the formation itself, then you need to be quick with your trades and get out once you realize a profit. Okay. Solo. Now this coin, this is what I'm talking about with any new coins that have been recently listed, even with the Metaverse and what have you. Be careful of this thing. Look at it. Each dash, okay, is a whole day in trading. So one day they just spiked up and pulled it straight back. Look how many days this is lacking. There's hardly any volume in this coin, so just be mindful of that, okay? One, moving up today. It seems like the altcoins have had a good day today. Kai has actually done really well. It's coming up towards the 5, well, above the 5 EMA, but the problem that I've got is we're starting to see a little bit of a limitation in the chart. Excuse me. Here we go. What do we see? A lot of people would assume that this is a head and shoulders formation, okay, but I would be very cautious because the 50 and the 200 are getting quite close to each other. So that could mean that they could be setting up for a head and shoulders formation, but we got too many hits. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits to the upside, okay, and every hit that we see is actually lower than the other. However, this one ends up being higher than this one. Okay, so just be mindful of that. As you can see, the red vector candle right here could imply that they're going to continue higher and actually start a new formation up in this zone. So this coin may not be finished with its move to the upside just yet. Okay, keep an eye out on that. Crow. Another monster coin. Look at that. Pulled back from the 50 from its highs, testing the 50 EMA. Now we're waiting to see if this is going to make another continuation up. Be mindful, because when you do see them pulling price up aggressively, dropping it back down, basing at the 50 EMA, and then trying to move back up again, at most they may hit this point right here in the chart, which then they could actually come down lower to reset the whole thing again and start making some moves to the upside. Okay, so just keep an eye out on behavior of coins like this. Okay, remember, altcoins, they are traded live in comparison to Bitcoin, okay? So they're going to make big moves to the upside, but at the same time, they're going to make sharp moves to the downside. Go and get any altcoin that's made an all-time high and look how sharply they move away from the highs itself, okay? VET is doing pretty well. It's coming back up, okay, up 2% for the day. It did have a bit of a good day today, but now it's pulling everything back across the board, and you can see that we've got the first pattern right here since its previous move to the upside. You've got a W formation right here, and the first rise up out of the zone, retrace. Now we could expect a continuation to the upside only if they hold above the 50 EMA. The most that they can drop V-chain is all the way back down towards this pool of liquidity right here. It's ever so sharp, such a small zone right here. They have to stay within this zone for it to be still a valid pattern. So keep an eye out on that basis, ladies and gentlemen. Solana, okay, struggling today, but it's just forming some really interesting price action. It's come back towards that 200 EMA on the hourly. Now it's crossing over with the 50 EMA. Now we're seeing some interesting price action. Look, this zigzag-like behavior. Got a big pattern right here. Rise, retrace. Rise, retrace. We're waiting to see if they're just going to be moving Solana higher, man. Okay, because she does a real good job of holding above its 200 EMA when it wants to hold above it. All right? As long as it doesn't come down to the 800 EMA, which is a zone that they have tried to come back to. If you notice when we've been talking about it, you can see that they attacked the zone earlier, hit that previous pool of liquidity, came back up, and they came straight back into it. Okay, remember, the wicks always end up getting recovered because these are the imbalances in the chart. When I'm talking wicks, I'm talking big wicks. None of these small ones right here, although sometimes they do recover those if they are close by. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, let's have a look at some of these Metaverse coins. So I went onto Twitter and I asked the family over there in Twitter, what Metaverse coins would what coins should I actually start looking at? And all of them tend to have the same theme, and it was the Metaverse coins. Okay, now of course the Metaverse is starting to not blow up, but it's actually being spoken about quite a bit, and Facebook pretty much kickstarted all that movement by changing its name over to Meta. Now, I've pulled off a few Metaverse coins, all right, off CoinGecko. There is still plenty more coins up there, but some of the coins haven't been listed on certain exchanges. Some of them have no volume whatsoever, but these are the ones that have actually caught my eye. For example, ICE. Look at this. Now, this coin, it trades, look at that, $43 a coin, but there's no liquidity. Look at it. It's a terrible coin. What can you make from that? As I said to you at the start, guys, right? Be mindful. Metaverse coins that have just literally hit the scenes, okay? You're going to see this. Now, this is all about the adoption of the metaverse itself, all right? Because naturally, these coins are going to start getting volume traded to it. Now, most people are going to be paying attention to Bitcoin and the altcoins themselves. But these sort of coins right here, guys, okay? Just be careful with them. Don't go straight into these coins. Just keep an eye out on them, all right? It's like a little marketplace, a metaverse. It's just a new marketplace. So just pay attention to it, because every time you pull up these coins, we're going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this all the time and talking about metaverse coins. But we are at what we understand to be in the adoptive stages of the metaverse itself, okay? So we are now seeing the result of people endorsing the idea of the metaverse. This is my opinion of it. I may be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. There are guys out there that will probably say, Tina, you're talking X, Y, and Z, all right? But from a trading perspective, ladies and gentlemen, which is what it's all about for me, if I saw a coin like this, regardless of what it does as a utility, okay, this thing might be a great coin with the white paper and all of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with it. But technically, looking at it from a trading perspective, don't want to do anything with it. It's got nothing for me. Too many gaps in the chart. Look at this. No trades whatsoever. It's terrible. Can't trade any coins like that. No good for me. Revo. See, same story again, but you can sort of see like they are forming directional biases and the way price is behaving, but it's quite a tricky coin, man. If you're going to trade anything like this, you want to be careful, because these big pumps in price is just people stepping up and just buying loads of it, okay? And the algorithms programmed to close certain percentages of this coin, all right, are triggered straight away, which is why you see these big spikes up and down. And look at these gaps, man. It's just crazy. So just be mindful of that. RNDR. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what you want. This coin is $4.77, okay? But it's got decent price action. Look at the candlesticks. Big difference between Revo and ICE, okay? ICE is like $43 a coin, okay? Now you've got RNDR, render token, all right? And look at this. It's just performing beautifully, just non-stop, making moves to the upside, riding the 5 and the 13 EMA, okay? So just keep an eye out on those sort of coins, ladies and gentlemen. Boson, what's this? Boson Protocol, okay? Now, this is obviously on KuCoin. Again, another coin that seems to be trading really well, up 17% for the day, made a nice movement to the upside. Of course, Bitcoin's taken a battering today, which we'll explore that very shortly. Rev, look at that. Principally, look at that. This is a classic example of a stop hunt rise, drop, set up, get some more longs, and shift out of the zone. Look at what they're doing. Yeah? Complete recovery of that wick, the imbalance in the chart. Then look at all of these these candlesticks right here. Okay? So wait until this coin actually finds direction. All right? Because as much as you can see the pattern right here, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that's nice. Okay? Is that your first rise level 1 retrace? What on earth is that? You want to be careful. Okay? Coins like this, right, tend to have this, they have this tendency to just spike up and down. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the trade, okay? If you're going to be trading coins like this, you want to make sure that your liquidation point, okay, is in an area in the chart where you think it is unlikely to go. In other words, don't use leverage, okay? Because you can see, look at this, nice little move to the upside right there, spike up. You could be in a short, Okay, when you probably went short on the break of the 50 EMA, happy days. You're riding a short, you're not paying yourself because you think it's going to continue lower. You're expecting the retrace, you probably got your drawing, and you went like this. Move, retrace, continuation to the downside, happy days. But if your liquidation point was anywhere near in this zone or you started moving your stop, you would have been hit. So just be careful with coins like this, ladies and gentlemen. RMRK, nice behavior. Look at this, consolidating all the way around the 50 EMA. A decent coin itself, $32. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see any gaps in the chart. You want to see it actively being traded continuously. All right, maybe a bit of a tricky coin to trade, but you can see there's no clear movement to the upside, consistently. There's always going to be a little bit of a consolidation, rise up, spiking up, consolidation, spike up, consolidation, wicks and up and down. It's just a crazy thing to do. As I said to you guys, Metaverse coins, be mindful of them if you're going to try and day trade them, okay? Just stick to popular ones like Alice. Look at Alice. You know where you stand with Alice. It's a big coin, it's on Binance, all right? So just be mindful of it, okay? Looking at some more coins. Some of these coins have been taken from Twitter as well. Oh, we got a nice little pattern right here. Will this pattern play out? We've got 2 hits to the upside. First leg of the M formation is above the previous leg of the M formation. The second leg of the M formation. Big notable volume candle to the upside, but it doesn't go anywhere. Setting up the longs, getting them trapped, and then attacking those liquidation points to the downside. Where will this coin actually hold out is going to be based on what it does around this point right now in the chart. Okay, because we do have this pool of liquidity right here. Let me just get my indicator that I've got. It's the vector candle zones themselves. Okay, so there you go. That's the next pool of liquidity that they've got. There's some bigger pools down here, but let's hope that they don't actually send it down there just yet. Okay, Axis, that's another coin. It's been around for a while. Axie Infinity, brilliant, performing the same way as Alice. All right, so we've got pools of liquidity up here, tapping the zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits to the lows. It's trying to stay in this zone. Problem that I've got is they may actually come back down towards this wick right here and test the 800 EMA. Every time this hits the 800 EMA, it actually bounces quite aggressively from it, but unfortunately it's been a while since it's actually hit the last EMA moving average, since September the 27th. That's a long time away in the chart. Okay, so they could be bringing price towards that 800 EMA on the hourly, which is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. All right. Mona. Again, another coin, up and down. Yes, it's priced at $1.80. Okay, but just look at it. Just be careful. All right. Gaps in the chart itself, spike up and down. It will be a nightmare to trade this sort of coin. All right. ILV. Where on earth have you been? I ain't even know this coin existed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Give me a chart. That's all I care about. But you can see what's going on with this coin, bright as day. You have got this big head and shoulders formation on the 1-hour time frame, which is a bit of a dodgy M formation. Okay, you can see that. It's quite tricky, this one is. Okay? But you can see the peaks, and then it's coming up. It's come back down again. We've got a next pool of liquidity, but they're going to try and recover this previous wick right here. See, the thing that I noticed about certain altcoins is this. Even if the dominance of Bitcoin is low, if it drops, and people are pumping money into the altcoins, doesn't mean that all altcoins are actually going to be moving higher. Okay, some altcoins will be basing, some will actually be making new moves to the upside, and some altcoins are just going to take a bleed and hit the floor. Okay? So don't assume that all altcoins are going to be winning, because they're not. Okay? Look at Sand. Sand's doing okay, but again, another pool of liquidity close by that they can actually take some money from that point, which will show support at the 200 EMA. Be mindful. We are still within this small peak formation, but we've had a rise level 1 drop, rise level 2 drop. Now we're consolidating again. If it holds this zone right here, it's likely to come back up towards this point right here and make another break to the upside. Level 3 rise, M formation drop, which will then come back up towards this point in the chart right here. And then we would actively be seeing wonderful all-time highs again with Sand. Okay? So that'll be happy days right there. Now, I'm going to be looking at these Metaverse coins. I'm going to keep an eye out on them on every video that I do with the altcoin bosses itself, just to keep an eye out. And I'm going to be adding more to the list. So don't worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But what we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump over to Bitcoin itself and just have a look at what's been going on there. Okay? Now, this is something that I was talking about earlier on to a couple of the members and the patrons of the channel itself. But Bitcoin today, unbelievable. It's brilliant how they've worked this zone. Okay? A lot of people have been expecting Bitcoin to move higher, and they did it with this impression right here because people have been trying to catch moves to the upside of Bitcoin. People are still directionally biased towards, you know, the all-time high for Bitcoin. But remember, man, this is a coin. It's probably one of the most expensive coins out there. Now, people that are going to be buying it and selling it, they don't want to be buying it at the highest possible price, okay? So what they do is they create the illusion that price is going to be containing it in this zone and then make these false moves to the upside and then pull it back, okay? So you've got to be careful with this, ladies and gentlemen. Something's brewing with Bitcoin, and a lot of people are going to be surprised by it. Ethereum, pretty much doing the same thing, but we understand something about what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. If they do actually contain Bitcoin and Ethereum, and especially Ethereum in this pattern right here, because they can actually form a W formation and they can drop price all the way down towards this wick right here. And as long as they bounce away from this point, it will still be a valid W formation, okay? But the fact of the matter is this: false move to the upside triggers all the longs to the retail traders to go to the upside. Market maker builds his shorts. He realizes a return on those shorts by sending price down lower and hits the liquidation points to release the liquidity for the shorts and build longs at the same time. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much sums up what the deal is across the board. Okay. As much as this video talks about the altcoins and, of course, now starting about the Metaverse coins themselves, okay? As of tomorrow, 2 p.m., we'll be rolling out onto the streams and bringing you guys into the New York session, okay? Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will be ending the video, but if you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Show some love in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll try my hardest to reply to as many of you as I can. If you do know any more altcoins, or should I say Metaverse coins, that I have missed out, not I've missed out intentionally, but I just needed to build a bit of a list so that you guys had something to play around with, let me know in the comments below, guys, so that I can get those coins listed into the actual list itself. I mean, this is how the altcoin boss list itself was developed. You know, comments by you guys, any altcoins or any Metaverse coins that I may be missing out or that I don't know about, please put them in the comment section below so I can get them populated, because that coin that you put down in that comment section could be the coin that I talk about, and you get a little bit of a breakdown on what we could expect it to do next. Okay? Other than that, guys, mad love and respect to all of you. I won't be streaming tonight because it's Monday. Need to get myself rested, and I'll be catching up with you guys tomorrow. Mad love and respect to all of you. Take care of yourselves. Peace.